Good morning, good morning. Well, I've gotta get out here this morning and get some dirt put back there in the back, you know, for that big surprise I got coming up here. So I'm gonna go ahead. I've got some piled up over here. I'm gonna show you already. So I'm gonna come back over here and get this dirt out of here and take it back there to the back. So that pile I got built up over there. So I'm gonna take it back to the back and put it back over here so I can get them puddles out of there and get this to dry up. That's the plan for today. And I've got to do some prepping excuse me, back over here as well. So I don't figure this will be too much to do. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Get a frog. So see that little wet spot I got right there? I'm gonna get that filled in there, and then fill in some of this right here, and then also fill in them two right there so that I can get the water to drain to those ponds. And you know, eventually I'm gonna have some geese over there. But I definitely got to get this filled in so it'll drain and keeps all the water out of the shop. So that's what I'm planning on doing this morning. Now this ditch where I've got this water line, now that Mary's moving, I can bring that water line. I'm going to fix it down there where that spigot was. I'm going to put a T in it, and I'm going to run it over to the shop so that I've got water inside the shop for washing my hands and what have you like that after doing stuff. And then also I'm going to be taking the wire here that's all stretched out that we got over there set up for Mary for power now. I'm going to be taking that and running that over there to where that RV spot is. And eventually that, you know, I'll dig that down there, but I'm not going to do that until she moves. So it's going to be a little bit for that. But the main goal is this morning is to get this part finished right here, get this all filled in and smoothed out so that water goes that way. And I've also got to work on this spot right here and get that done. So kind of my plan. Got a helicopter coming in here. It might get loud, so let me walk in the shop. But it feels really good in the shop, y'all. Got a nice breeze coming through here now that door is open. So let me get Bertha fired up here this morning. Go over there and get this dirt, put it in these holes, and then we'll dig tow truck out, and we'll start smoothing things out. That and all that rain, you see that rain just kind of made tracks everywhere, and like starting to get ruts in here. So we're gonna solve some of that problem as well. All right, so let's get busy. Well, got them trees out, but the camera fell over and I didn't know it. So we got those out. So now the time to take that nipple off of that right there and start digging all of this back right here. And all that right there, and start widening out the pond here and make it a big J. You're gonna see it from Google Earth. So let me see what we can do. I didn't realize the camera fell over on me, so let's see if we can get some cool shots of this. All right, so we got a load of dirt in this wet spot here. We got a bunch more on the back over there that I've spread out already. Let me walk you back here and show you all that. That's looking really good back here. So I'll have to get tow truck out here in just a little bit and move that wire. And then I'll start smoothing all of this out. As you can see, I put a couple of loads back here of that. And now I got a couple more. I think I put in like 3 or 4 buckets over here of that. So that'll start doing its thing. And I gotta smooth all of it out. And then I'm gonna move all this stuff here and start smoothing this out right here for the next big project coming in here. So, and I got those trees out over there, as you've seen. So, and I dug some on the hole there. So some of you were asking, you know, about priorities and I'm preparing for winter. Well, this is one of the priorities, preparing for winter. Digging on this pond gives me the dirt that I need to build all of this up. So as you can see here, this is all still, when it rains, it still gets kind of muddy over here. So that's the reason for pressing on with digging this pond, is so I can get all the dirt in here to fill all this in, all the low spots in, to be able to raise this all up so that I don't have these spots, and also continue the grade for that. So I got those other 4 trees out right there. I'm still going to take that one out right there eventually. And then the J pond tip is going to come over to here, right in here where the ends of these logs are, and it's going to go out that, then start over here and go out that way, so that way I can have that island out there. And then I'm going to push all that stuff back a little bit so I can burn it, and then we'll make the big J out there in that open area out there. The hook for the J. I call it the J hook. So that's what we're going to do with that. So I still got to dig these other 2 trees out of the hole, which I will do here soon, and get all them pushed over there in that pile. And you see the other 2 that are laying back there, so I'll get those out, and then I'll start digging a bunch more and just keep digging away at it until I get enough dirt to fill all of this in over here so that it stays dry, and get my pipes running out there, and then we'll go from there. So in the meantime, you know, I still got all these rocks I got to get up over here, and I'll be doing that here real soon. But you see how the water's still standing over here, so all of this still needs to be raised up. And come out here, get some more of this raised up right here, and get my my drain pipe put in across the drive right there, so that when this water does hit over there, it'll all flow into that ditch over there and go out. And we'll make that happen here real soon. You know, now that it's drying up, and once I get enough, the rest of this cleaned up right here and get this filled in with the dirt, then that water will force its way out that way. So slowly but surely, y'all, we're getting there. I just had to take a break for a minute, and got to get some breakfast in me. I haven't done that yet, and we'll keep kicking at it slowly but surely. I want to thank another subscriber. I don't know if he wants to be mentioned by name, but he is going to hook me up with some poles and some other stuff for my gates out here, which is awesome, and thank you very much for that. So I won't mention his name just in case he doesn't want to be mentioned, and I just got to be able to go get them. So I'm hoping maybe I can talk David into taking the trailer up there and get them, so that I can have the post for the gates out here. And then I don't have to worry about trying to find cedar trees out through there and taking them out, because I really do like the cedars around here, if I can get them. But you know, I'd like to keep them if possible. So anyway, let me go back in here, get me some lunch or breakfast, I guess technically, and we'll keep kicking away. I'll be back. Well, howdy y'all. Well, as many of you know, Wild Badger reached out to me a while back about their electric lawnmower. Now, I gotta be honest, I was really skeptical about trying a battery operated lawnmower, you know. So when they that one really impressed me. So when they reached out to me this time and said, hey, how would you like to try the hedge trimmer, the chainsaw, and the weed eater? I thought, okay, well, you impressed me with the mower. So here's what they did, is they reached out and they sent me this one to try out. And they said they wanted to see if I liked it as much as a lawnmower. Well, let's find out. Let's pull this thing out the box here and see what we got. And hopefully Smokey won't try to help me, because he usually likes to do that. So we got to pull out our handy dandy knife and cut all the tape here. We're gonna pull this out and see what it's all about. Okay, so there's our guard and there's our strap. Oh, now that's gonna come in handy, that little blade right there. Now this is dual 20 volt. So we have two 20 volt batteries. Oh, there's one, there's the other one. So we have two 20 volt batteries. And let's see what else we're gonna pull out of this box. And I would assume this is gonna be the charger for both batteries. Yep. Dual charger. Pretty sweet. You can charge them both at the same time. And one hedge trimmer. One extension pole. A lot more parts in here than I thought. But that's all right. We like it, lots of parts. Okay. That looks like the chainsaw part. And the blade. And one bolt, one chain for that. What else we got? Man, there's just lots of parts. And the weed eater head. Now this is pretty heavy duty, pretty stout, y'all. I'll give it that. I thought I was gonna get a bunch more plastic stuff, but no, this is actually pretty stout here. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through the whole ordeal of putting everything together, at least not right now anyway. But the hedge trimmer does have these cool little guards on it. So as you can see that there. So that leaves that wide open. And I do have some stuff I can trim up with this and try it out. So that's gonna be I am gonna definitely be doing that. Get it back on here now. And we're going to be trying this thing out. Now, the weed eater part so much, you know, our weeds are pretty hefty around here, so I'm sure I will be getting plenty of use out of that blade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this all together. Here's the weed eater head, which looks like it's pretty simple. Just screw on there. This is for the blade, so we'll have to lock that down, and I'll put the blade on there. And like I said, the string stuff, I don't know if I'll have very much use for it, but we will give it a shot. So it did come with some cool tools, a little wrench and what have you. So you can pull this stuff off. So it looks like it's I am going to put the blade on it real quick just to show you how easy it is to do the blade. So it's got a little notch and a hole right there that you can just stick in there, and then gives you the tool to take it off and tighten it. Okay. So this is left-handed thread, y'all, just so you know. So it's not righty-tighty, it's righty-loosey. Then you just stick that on there like that. That's what it's looking like anyway. It's got a nice little notch there. And you can put that on there. And then you can put your nut back on there. Take our fancy little wrench again and stick it down in there. So we're going to get these batteries charged up, and we're going to try this thing. Yeah, I like it already, y'all. I can tell this is going to be a nice little addition to the Gemstead out here. So you see these right here. Now these are pretty thick. So let's see how she does with those. Now that's some pretty heavy duty stuff right there. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna tell you all right now, I don't even need to try the other parts. With that much power right there to cut through that, and didn't even slow it down at all to cut through that big stuff. No reason to even try the other stuff and show you all that. Y'all, WILDBAGER. This is some pretty awesome stuff, y'all. Like I said, I've got the electric 40-volt lawnmower, and whenever it hits high grass, it just speeds up all by itself automatically. Other than that, it just runs at a low speed. If you got mild grass, it does great. So, WILDBAGER, 220 volt. Sweet little tool, y'all. I am going to leave the link down at the bottom in the description, down at the bottom in the description panel. That made a lot of sense, didn't it? This is new lifts. I just got these at Walmart. Anyway, so we're going to leave that link down there for you. So go over there and get you a discount on one of these and try one of these out. All right, I'm telling you, this is worth the money. Now, I have spent $200 and $300 on weed eaters in the past. You know, good gas powered weed eaters. You always got to fight with gas. You always got to, I'm done with all that, right? Then they don't want to start and you got to pull forever. Don't do that. This right here, charge the battery, start every time. Now it is about 112, 113 degrees out here, so I am not going to sit out here too long and be messing with this. This is something that we have to do up here early in the morning. And I've already been out here early this morning doing other things. But I did want to try this out because I wanted to get them few weeds down right there and get ready for some more work on the J pond over here. So go get you one of these, y'all. I'm telling you, this whole kit, and now I'm very impressed. And you know, as you know, I try not to do any collaborations that that don't live up to what their name is. You know what I mean? And this one lives up to its name and beyond. Now, to cut through that hard stuff like that and didn't even slow that motor down at all, get you one, y'all. This is well worth it. And lightweight, it ain't got gas, it ain't got a pull, all that kind of good stuff. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go in here and get cooled off a minute, and then I'm gonna get out here and get on tow truck and get some of this dirt smoothed out while I can. So, all right, Wild Badger, thank you. Let's check them out, y'all. We'll see you in a bit. it's going to be a lot better right there when it's all said and done. And then that back over there, it's getting closer and closer. A few more loads of dirt back there, and I'll get all that water washed that way, and that'll be really sweet. And you see, I got a bunch more piles of dirt out here, and a bunch more working on the gemstead. I'll bring you over here and let you see, working on the gem pond, the J pond, so to speak. So you can see how much more I got out of there already. And I still got to bring it over to here, and then we'll go out and around that third tree right there. I'm going to keep that third tree as the island in there, and then we're going to go out and around the edge of it like that, and get the rest of this out of here. And right here is where the cutoff is for the wide part of the J. And then this is, like I said, this is going to go a little bit further this way. And I was going to cut it off right there at the tree, but I think I'm going to go a little bit further, and then keep this line right here going out. And this way it gives it a very distinct T, you know, the T on the top of a J. And then have that go out and around that like that, and around that, around them trees right there, that little clump of trees right there. And that'll make my little island. So I don't know if you can picture it or not, but those trees kind of like that there, I'm going to shave them off till there's a flat spot on them. Then I'm going to screw them all together and make a bridge across there. I think that'll be very cool. So anyway, let's keep going with all this, yo. I'm not going to do any more today because I'm hot and I'm tired. So we're going to get on tow truck here in just a minute and get that going. All right, so we'll see you in a short. Big hill. All right, drop the blade down. All right, y'all. Getting too bloody hot. Oh man. So at least that's quite a bit of it down. That over there behind the shop is still a little bit too mushy. Here, let me clean y'all off so you can see. Still a little bit too mushy over there. So I'm gonna let it dry out and harden out. Dry out and harden up. See, man, see what the heat does to you. And then we'll do a couple more passes with that probably tomorrow or something, or this week. Tomorrow I am going to be going, hopefully I'm going to be going to Big Joe's. Just depends on the temperature. Last time I drove it over there, Bertha didn't like the temperature riding down the road like that. So, you know, I have to be very careful of all that. And I you know, because I don't want to do anything to the machine. So, you know, just the converter temp was rising pretty fast on it. I won't say rising pretty fast, but riding pretty high on it. And I didn't like that. I had to stop a couple of times on the trip to let it cool down. And like I said, I just don't like getting it above that 3/4 mark. Once it gets above, it's still in the green, but once it gets above that 3/4 mark, that's a little too close for me. So we'll see how that goes. He's got to dig a vent line, and we got to reset his water catchment tank. So it sunk in the mud with all that rain. So he's got blocks and all that kind of stuff to set it on now, and we'll get that and this pad done. So in the meantime, I think we're gonna call it a day. I've got quite a bit done out here today, and I am hot and I'm ready for a break, and it is Friday, so why not, you know? I think it's take a break. I've been killing myself all week, and man, it's been rough, but that's all right. I enjoy keeping busy like that. But you know, sometimes the heat is just, you just got to take a break from the heat. So I'm probably going to go in here and disassemble Shorty's desk for her, and get that ready so I can prep that area to put the hot tub in there. I still got to wash it and clean it out real good, and then I'll get it in there and set it up. And this way I can, at least while it's super hot like this, I'll at least have a cool spot. I can go in there and sit in a nice cool pool inside and watch TV and, you know, put on a movie and take a chill pill in the evenings. Well, damn, what better way to spend an evening, you know? So anyway, that's kind of my plan. Like I said, I'm gonna go in here and cool off a little bit. I do have a little breeze kicking right now, and looks like we got some rain clouds coming in, but I don't know. They said if it does rain, it's gonna be like a super spotty little thing. But a super spotty little thing like the other day was a major storm for about 15 minutes, and yeah, did a whole bunch of nasty stuff. So anyway, don't forget, like and subscribe. I want to thank all your new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Yes, there's a lot going on around here, y'all, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up real soon. It's a lot of it's already been recorded. I just got to wait for others to put theirs out, and then I'll put this out. So you'll get to see a lot of other cool stuff, and a big project. I'm still working on it. Okay, I do have to go over there and start prepping that area here real soon. And we'll see that. So anyway, we'll talk to y'all very soon. Don't forget to come see me tomorrow. All right, love you guys. Later.